So hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Winston's Pod. Today in this episode, I'm gonna bring in my what do you call this? Not flatmate. What do you call this?
Building mate.
Building mate. So we are in the we are in the same building, but my friend here he's staying one floor above me. So now during a lockdown, I thought like, oh, it would be cool if I can sit down with him and talk and get to know more about him. So here he is. Could you introduce yourself and
Okay,
things
sure.
like that?
My name is Adwait Doshi. I am a student in Staffordshire University and I am studying transport design over here. And I am from India originally.
Very nice. From India, but in particularly a city.
Yep,
of
sure.
India,
Yeah, I'm from Mumbai.
Mumbai. Very interesting to have students internationally. Like you're from India, I'm from Malaysia, and I'm sure there are like students from like Australia,
Yep.
Taiwan, Hong Kong, China. So it's very nice. Yesterday I talked to Jack in our previous episode, and today I thought I'll bring in you. So could you share, maybe the first question I would like to ask you is like, maybe you can share with everyone, what do you do in transport design in your course? It's like first year.
Yep, I'm in first year.
Yeah.
So in transport design is exactly like architecture for vehicles, For example, an architect designs a building and with the help of civil engineers, he makes that dream a reality. So we work with automotive engineers and we design the cars and other types of vehicles, and then they work on our concepts alongside us, and then we create it in the end. So it's a lot of prototyping and experimenting on various different types.
Is it more, what do you think about your course? Is it more on the creative role or more on the technical role, or is it combined?
I think it's more on the creative side currently.
Okay.
That's why it's a BA honors.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it would have been a mixture of both of them equally, then it would have been a BA/BSc.
Understand. Okay, cool. So when you graduate, when you finish your course, right, what is the job role or career what is the pathway?
Well, the pathways are various different types actually. If you are a transport designer, it's not necessarily that you will be limited to it. You can go into the architecture side as well. You can go into the interior design side. You can go for the product design as well. And if you only consider specifically automotive design, then there are various different studios and various different companies for cars, for trains, for airplanes, buses, all these different types of vehicles. And even if you consider the space vehicle genre that is going to spring up soon, if commercial space travel becomes a reality, then we will have an increasing role in that as well.
I see. So what is your interest behind this? What is your driving force? Like what made you want to go to this pathway?
Well, I've always been a railway fan, and I love trains. So
You love trains.
yeah, the
Okay.
main driving force was I want to become a transport designer so that I can design trains for Indian Railways.
Oh
especially.
yeah, makes sense because like obviously we can see the congestion in Indian
Yep.
rails, and then and I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure all, but some rail companies their train don't have doors.
Yeah,
Just easier for
it's-
people to go and
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting perspective on it because in Japan, for example, they have pushers employed so that on very strict very thick rush hours they can push
yeah.
people inside the train safely. In India, we can't do that because the crowd is even more.
Yeah.
And even if the trains have doors, the suburban trains, not the express trains, they're left open because people are so many inside the train. It will be very suffocating if the doors are closed. But if we consider the express trains, the long distance intercity trains, most of them now have closed doors, thankfully, and newer trains are getting automatic doors as well. So we are making some progress.
Yeah, because I was thinking like I watched a vlog from Simon Wilson, which is a vlogger in UK. He
Yep.
went to India and there are a lot of interesting things, like for example when you're gonna cross the road you just show your hand. I think that's quite typical as well in
Yeah,
Malaysia.
jaywalking is not a crime there. I
Oh,
mean,
I see.
yeah, and most people don't follow traffic rules, and it's kind of hilarious and also at the same time very dangerous as well. So, yeah, but we're trying to educate people more and more about the dangers of jaywalking, as well as the drivers who, while taking
see.
license, the exams are getting more strict, so that if you
Oh.
don't pass the stringent norms, then you won't be able to drive a car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I really find it interesting. I'm not sure whether it's a technological or is it a cultural thing, but looking at that type of uh, transport culture in India, having the doors open, having the people congested, right? It could be a good and a bad thing, but for me, I look at it as like a very interesting thing because obviously every country have their own way of doing things. So
Definitely.
let's say you go to Japan, you go to UK, you see everything is like nicely done, but in India is completely different. So for me, if I go India and I experience that, I think it will be a very good, like a memorable thing. Like you will never like. I don't think I'm not sure any part of the world that has that type of.
Yeah,
You understand?
definitely.
You know the
Everybody,
experience,
yes.
the atmosphere. Like you need to get on the
Yep.
train and then you get
The
pushed.
rush, the
Wow,
rush. It's
that's
the
insane.
thing is, it's very chaotic. And by the way, I would like to say this that almost 3,000 daily services are run in Mumbai alone.
Whoa.
3,000 daily suburban trains, but they are still not enough. And people complain a lot to the railways as well because sometimes they're not very well maintained. I mean, we are trying to allocate a lot of budget, but no, we also have to move forward. We just can't keep on
see.
maintaining stuff because
Yeah.
then we will be stuck in a loop. So
Yeah.
it's a very difficult thing. Earlier, it used, the crowds were less. Also, there is one more thing that is very important here, that many people migrate to Mumbai in search of a job and that they have dreams. So, and they feel that Mumbai can be a city of dreams.
Yeah.
So what happens is that one place in particular gets more congested, while some villages have become literal ghost towns because most people have left them. Now, the government and various different state governments as well are trying to make the villages better so that the migration can be curbed because every major Indian city is going to face this problem. Yeah.
What's the current population of Mumbai?
I'm not really sure. I have some outdated figures, but I've forgotten them. But I do know the population of India, which is actually a very easy figure. It's nearly 1.3 billion. So
Whoa! 1.3 billion!
we are runner-ups against China. So
Mad! Mad! So, yeah, I think it's good to, to get to know a little bit of India and, I'm just wondering, how do Indian people eat? Do they use their hand?
okay, now that's a very popular misconception that people have in that is that if some people feel that it's unhygienic. Well, it's only unhygienic if you are not very clean yourself. So, for example, in certain dishes are needed to be eaten by hand because yeah, they can be eaten by hand itself. Like it's just like eating pizza. You won't eat pizza with a fork or a spoon.
Yeah.
So, certain Indian dishes we do have cutlery. I mean, using spoons and forks. But some dishes, like for example, if you want to consider fast food, for example, then there is a dish called pani puri. You can't have it with spoon or forks. It would be illogical because you won't be able to pick it with it. So pick with your hand, and it is very imbibed in our culture. I mean, I don't know if most people follow it or not, but my mom is very strict about it. That you need to wash your hands every time you do something, outside your own course, or you are returning home from somewhere outside. So yeah, if you follow your good habits, I don't think it's a bit of an issue.
see.
But yeah, it's a cultural thing. Yeah.
Also, it's a cultural thing. The reason I asked is because I remember one part of the movie in Dangal.
Yeah.
They showed a family eating and they were using like I don't know. I think it was like some kind of bowl. And then you were using the hand. When I look at that, right, I feel like it's already burned into your culture, and if you do it right, I don't think there should be any problem with that. But for people like us, like me, sometimes I see people eating with hand. I feel in a way very satisfying. I don't know why. Do you understand? It's like
Yeah.
know.
I mean, yeah, you're picking your own food, but yeah, I can definitely understand why some people don't like it. I mean, it's a part of perspective after all, and I don't blame people. I mean, for me, for example, I don't know what you will feel about it or not, but Indians feel that the use of chopsticks is weird because we don't exactly know how sticky your rice is.
Yeah.
So when we think about people using chopsticks for eating rice, we are a bit confused as to how would you eat it.
Yeah.
So
Makes
every
sense, makes
culture
sense.
has misconceptions about everybody else. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's about culture, but when you first came here, like what is the decision behind coming to UK or coming to Staff's Uni in
Okay.
particular?
Well, I was actually researching for this course in particular so that I can get the best education I can to become a transport designer. Now, in India, we have some really good institutes as well, but they are fairly new. Some of them are quite old as well, but I've seen that it is not a very popular course, and public transport is hardly looked upon at. So it's usually only cars and bikes that is mostly taught, and also it is a bit expensive on the expensive side. When I researched about other universities in the world, I found the same thing. Staffordshire University was the only university that had a transport design focused on public transport as well. Very versatile transport design course. It was mentioned in their trailer that the university posted,
see.
and I was instantly impressed. It also has tie-ins with Bombardier, which is a very good locomotive and public transport manufacturing system. It makes aircraft, it makes railway rolling stock. I'm a fan of that company, and maybe I can get a chance in there.
I
Who knows?
see. Oh, so that's your story. Yeah, my story is about the same as well. Like, I was trying to find what course suit me best, and obviously there are a lot of film courses even in the United States. But Staff's Uni was I feel like it was the right one at that time when I was looking at picking my course back in 2018. When did you enroll? Is it 2000?
Last year, I mean October. Yeah, I had a delayed entry. Yeah, because of some financial troubles that we had, and because of that, I couldn't exactly come in September. So the university agreed that I could come in a month late if I could, or maybe the next year. So thankfully, it was all sorted out. Otherwise, I would have come in this year.
I see. Okay. So I just changed the angle because the sun was coming to my face. But yeah, we're gonna continue. So we were talking about courses, right? And
you're talking about your course.
Yeah, my course. Basically the same type of attraction and how the course attracted me. Yeah.
It's pretty similar to my story, I would say.
So how would you rate your course now? I mean, obviously you finish.
Yeah, I mean, I would if I would have to rate it out of 10, I would say 8.5.
8.5, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually pretty good
I
considering
see.
I'm never generous.
Okay. So what happened to your friend? So now let's talk about like the COVID-19 stuff. How is India doing and coping with
I
COVID-19?
think it is doing really good. Currently, the amount of people who are infected, I think, is 100,000, something like that, and the amount of deaths have been like nearing 4,000. But if you consider the population of India and everything, that is quite less. And despite the lockdown and everything, the economy hasn't gone into a negative GDP, so that is a good thing as well. We have started manufacturing sectors as well. In fact, Indian Railways recently launched another new locomotive, new high horsepower locomotive for freight operations. So that is a good thing as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think the freight operations, especially in this lockdown, right, is very important. Yeah.
it's vital. And if we consider all of these things, I think India is doing really great. Hope nothing bad happens after this. I don't want to jinx it. And yep, I'm pretty happy and just want to go home back actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now is May, and you said previously you have a flight book
Yep.
and line up in the next month.
True.
So how has that been going so far? Is it okay? Is there any?
I mean, the uncertainty is still there because the domestic flights are still not exactly operating. And they are the first indicator if the airspace is going to be, opened up or not. But if they do open that, then it's a certainty that I would be able to go back on my preferred date. Otherwise, it would be postponed, and maybe I'll just have to stay here then, because there won't be any point to go back and then come again in September. That would be a bit expensive as well, and time consuming as well.
I see. Yeah. So how is it like? How do you feel being separated from your family, especially this?
Yeah, it's actually quite what I would say uncomfortable. I feel lonely most of the time because most of my roommates left. And 1 minute, I just got an irritation in my nose. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry, it's the mustache.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do feel lonely. I do feel bored as well. Currently, the course is now completely online. We've been given a summer assignment, but before that, I felt purposeless. Why am I here? Sometimes I used to wonder as to I'm here to study, but nothing's happening in here, and because of this situation, I also worry about my family, and I also worry about myself, and yeah, it's just horrible. I mean, I can't explain it properly. It's just
I see. So what have you? I mean, how do you feel now compared to when it first happened? This nationwide lockdown in March.
I think I'm getting quite accustomed to this situation right now, even though it's not a very good thing. But yeah, I'm coping a bit well right now. I'm trying on different things as well, so to keep myself occupied, because I'm not going to. I've decided I'm not going to let this situation go to me. Clearly, because I'm not suffering a lot. If we look at it objectively, I'm still in a good place. I still have my own food. I'm not out there facing it in its entirety. I'm still in a secluded bubble, I would say.
I see.
So I shouldn't cry about it anymore. I should just stay focused on myself and what I can do. Yeah.
Okay. So is that what's the period now? Are you transitioning to that period, or you think you're already in that?
Almost in that
Almost
period.
in
Yeah.
that. Okay.
It will be cool though if I will be able to go back home, but that's a different thing now. Yeah.
Okay. So talking about domestic flights, right? So if you are able to fly next month back home, so I assume from London Heathrow to maybe direct to Mumbai?
No, it's and I can't catch from London Heathrow. Probably it's gonna be Manchester, and it's never a direct flight. Most of the time, the stopover is in Dubai or Muscat, or Abu Dhabi or some other places in the Middle East. And if I go by Lufthansa, then it will be somewhere in Germany, like Frankfurt or Munich. But they require transit visa, the German flights. Wow. So it is better to go for the Middle Eastern carriers.
I see. So talking about domestic flight, when you arrive in Mumbai, do you need to fly again, or you can just use car?
No, I can just use the car. I mean, because that would be pointless. I mean, my house is like just 30 kilometers away.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, okay. I think a lot of people, I was talking to my friend a few days ago. He asked me about what do I think about people being demotivated and things like that. So I told my friend my opinion. I said like there are two types of decision. One is you have the capacity and you know what to do to make yourself feel better, and you do it. And the second one is you have the capacity, you know what to do to make yourself better, but you choose not to do it. So there are two type of people like that, from my point of view in this lockdown. So what do you think when I say that type of, when I break it down, does it make sense?
I think you need to add one more category is that some people do know what to do and do understand the situation but are unable to act upon it.
Oh, such as,
I
I
mean-
see this good example.
I think, for example, from me as well, in the initial days, I knew what I should do. I should just focus on some extracurricular activities, like drawing and doing stuff which consist of my hobbies. But I wasn't able to because every time I tried to do that, every time I deliberately tried to move my mind from these issues, my mind used to wander there again, every time. So it was inability to actually think again, in that vein that it's done, what's done is done, just have to move forward. I knew that, but I couldn't do it.
I see. But you tried.
Yeah.
You tried. Okay, very good. So this is another third category.
Yep.
How about your course mates?
Classmates, well,
Yeah, do
I
they-
think they all are safe, fortunately, and all of them are in their homes, so I do feel good for them as well.
I see.
And they do remain in touch, some via WhatsApp or some via Outlook.
Okay.
That's a paid platform, but
yeah.
still, even they use Outlook when they're not on WhatsApp or anything.
So does your course complain about all these deadlines, or do you have any friends complain, oh, what we're gonna do now?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. I mean, the deadlines are very strict. If you, for example, if the deadline is 10 a.m. in Wednesday morning on a particular date, and if you submit your project even 1 minute late, it's failed completely. It is very strict.
Mad. I think that's insane because some course is a bit different, but it could be because your course is being strict. That's why the standard is very high.
Yeah, it's very difficult course. I mean, initially I used to think that it might not be that much because it's usually just drawing stuff, what you creatively can think about, and then just fitting it into reality and making models of it. But when you try to actually do that, it's quite difficult. I mean, you have to constantly generate new ideas, and that's quite a challenging thing. I don't consider myself to be extremely creative. Those people are very rare in this world, and just that this course is perfect for them who want to channel their creativity, their immense creativity, into making vehicles, or if they want to make products.
I see. Oh yeah, so now is your first year but second semester, is it?
Yep. I think the second semester finished. Sorry, not this. This is
Okay.
not the second semester. We've been given a summer assignment, and
I
I
see.
think
Okay.
it consists of the marks provided on it will be included in our second year.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
So
it's a different system, I think.
okay. So how did you? I'm sure when you finish your semester one, they will give you like some kind of result. So how did you do?
Yeah, they do give a feedback form.
Did you were you doing good it or?
I haven't received one for
Oh.
the second semester yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the first semester one was pretty good. I received a feedback form for all the subjects. Initially, I wasn't that good because I was just getting into the groove of studying abroad, staying away from my family, and all these things were preoccupied in my mind. So it was very average. It was just 55%, the first
Okay.
bit. Then the second, how do I say this? I think it's second quarter maybe of the first semester, and I did really well because I was well adjusted to all of this,
Okay.
and I got 70% in my score.
70%. That's a big jump right there.
So it
Okay.
was pretty good. Hopefully, I'll be able to do good in this semester as well, because abruptly the COVID-19 came. Again, my mind was disturbed,
Yeah, true.
and I don't know about the others, but at least I was just completing the project for the sake of it in the second part of it, because I was not completely into it anymore.
Understand, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think a lot
I
of
might just
people-
barely pass this time.
Yeah, I understand. I think a lot of people, like students, like around maybe not only this country but around the world, which happened to me as well. They started very passionate,
Yeah.
you know, feeling passion. They got a drive, and then a few months in, they did their research. They're happy. They're good with the progress, but then because of this COVID-19, which is something new, just give it like a completely stop.
Yep.
And then you're just so lost, you don't know what to do. It happened to me as well, and it happened to you.
Yep.
And you just want to get it passed, get it done, which is happened to me as well. I just want to get it done, just go.
Yeah, just going at it mechanically, robotically. That's the thing.
Understand. So I think it's hard time, but what are the advices you would give to first year students during this time?
I would just say that from my experience, try to be preoccupied in different hobbies that you might have missed, working about, because I can understand some people might have had very busy schedules before this pandemic happened and classes got closed. So do that as well. Watch some movies, inspirational movies, science fiction movies. They can, uplift your mood as well. Enhance your own creativity. Go have walks outside as well. Of course, using all the precautions. And then, just think about what your goal is. Maybe it will help you overcome this difficult situation. Just look at the end goal. Why are you here? Question yourself as to why you are here and work upon it. And maybe, just maybe, this situation will not get to you as much. I mean, I tried it myself, of course. Different strokes for different folks. Try what you do best as well. That's it. I'm not exactly a guru in this.
Understand. Yeah, I think like we said previously, this COVID-19 pandemic is something new. So when it struck us, right, 90% of us have severe damage because first it's new,
Yep.
and secondly we are not used to this
Absolutely.
sudden
Yep.
lockdown for so long.
Yes.
So if it happens once, I'm very sure it will happen again.
True. Absolutely.
I don't know when. We none of us know.
No,
when. Like we are
no.
talking about like
Yep.
tsunami. If it happens,
No.
it happen again. You know, you
Yeah,
understand? So but we learn a lot. We learn a
Absolutely.
lot in this pandemic. And next, if there's a pandemic next time, we should be able to cope it better. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Because this can be considered as a net practice, like what we used to say. If you look at it, it has given, I have a newfound respect for people in the ancient times now. They faced the Black Plague, for example,
Yeah.
in Europe and everywhere else. And for people who faced the Spanish flu and everything. So at that time, they didn't have technology as developed as
Yeah.
ours. And just imagine what kind of hell they might have went through. Compared to that, this is quite tame. So
True. Yeah, you make sense. Yeah, because I saw somewhere on social media they say, like, imagine our COVID-19 pandemic is actually 100 years ago.
Huh.
No technology, no phone, no
That would be
car.
hell. Yeah,
How would we survive?
absolutely. I mean, people wouldn't necessarily self-isolate, because at that time it would have been a bit more difficult to convince people. It is difficult now, actually.
Yeah.
Some people still don't care about it as much. So just imagine at that time, there might not have been a social distancing, but people would have died like flies, like most of the pandemic back then.
Die like flies. I like that. So what is like like, now I just want to talk about more of your experience here when you first came to England, right? What are the experiences that you what are the experiences that you when you first came and then you were like, wow, like this is completely different from
Yeah,
India.
the first thing was temperature, because I know this is a dumb point, but still. I mean, I was never quite used to these low temperatures. So, yeah, that first. And then, I don't know, it felt a lot more like a cleaner version of India.
Okay.
I mean, it's still a little untidy, but still it's quite less untidy from where I come from. And also, the work culture over here is quite different.
Yeah, true.
And also, I don't know. I just didn't find it that different, to be fair. And the people are mostly the similar to what I get to meet in India. So that was not a very big of a culture shock. The other culture shock was definitely food. Yeah. So from where I come from, it's majority vegetarian area. Myself, I'm a vegetarian, so it was a bit odd with people, cook with people who eat non-vegetarian food. But I got accustomed to it rather quickly,
Okay.
so I don't have any qualms about it. And then, yeah, yeah, just that. I don't find a lot of things that are
I
different.
see.
Work ethics are quite similar. Yeah,
I see.
just a little.
Well, for me, it's a bit different because, obviously, when I first came here, the biggest difference were temperature, atmosphere, but
Yep.
the minor or the sub differences were little things like there's no flies.
Yep. That's true.
Even
That's true.
there is, but it's just
Yeah.
very rare
Very
here.
rare. Very rare.
No flies, and then you don't see cockroaches so far.
Absolutely.
You don't see rats.
Yeah.
So far, we don't see rats. We don't see lizards that are on the wall.
Yeah.
All those things
Yeah,
we don't
lizards
see.
were quite a common. Yeah. How could I forget? Yep. I mean, yeah. Cockroaches are. I have a phobia for cockroaches. So.
Okay.
I'm thankful they are not here. Maybe they might be hiding somewhere else, but not at least here. And I don't have exactly a big problem with rats unless they are unclean. I also find rats to be cute.
See. So yeah, I mean, like, that's the biggest difference for me. Oh yeah, talking about vegetarian, right? I have a friend who is also vegetarian, but I want to, like, can you share a little bit more about your vegetarian life, your backstory, and
Yep, sure.
how's that?
I mean, been vegetarian since birth. I mean, my family has never cooked anything, non-vegetarian. We don't even have eggs in our menu. So there are many people who actually, question me how I get my protein. Now, considering that I don't have a very buff body, but I have never worked on it. But we do get a lot of proteins from lentils and pulses and various other food grains as well. Soybean is used very rarely, despite the popular opinion.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't grow a lot from where I come from, but its flour is mixed with flour of wheat and barley, and we make flatbreads from it. So yeah, lots of protein, lots of fiber, lots of carbohydrates. So it's exactly a balanced diet, but without the meat. So, yeah, many people find it a little weird.
So how do you feel like? I mean, like, let's say you have a friend and he's very close to you, but he's a non-vegetarian friend.
Okay.
So how do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't feel anything different because coincidentally, my best friend happens to be a non-vegetarian.
Okay.
So, but yeah, his family eats non-vegetarian food for like only three times a week, not every day. So he's what I can call a flexitarian in new terminology. He doesn't identify himself as a flexitarian. Just giving context for some viewers, to understand easily. So yeah, I have no problems with that. We never even argued about the food choices. The food hardly used to come up. It was usually only sports and science and stories and what happened in school. So yeah.
Okay, so you have no, like, I mean, if I'm doing a cooking, I mean, if I'm cooking for vegetarian, right, I'm very particular. Like, I want to make sure everything is non-vegetarian. But what if like if someone doesn't know that you're vegetarian and they start to serve you non-vegetarian food,
Yeah.
how would you deal with that?
I mean, that's quite a difficult situation. If I say no, that would be considered insulting. I mean, and I would hurt that person's feelings. Then the other thing is that I will probably say to them that I'm a vegetarian the first time that they are, they mention about cooking for me.
Okay.
So that if they are uncomfortable about it, I will say that I'm sorry to say this, but I won't be able to dine with you. I might have to bring my own food. But I will be, I will be present there.
I see.
But I won't touch meat unless and until it is a situation of life and death. And even then, I will feel
Understand.
rather bad.
Understand. Okay. All right. I see. Because there's one time I forget my friend is a vegetarian, and I brought her to you can say it's a non-vegetarian shop, but I can't remember what was it. I think that was a few years ago, and I feel quite bad about it. I feel like I disrespect her, but I think she don't remember now. But what if someone do that to you?
I mean, a few of my
Like
flatmates,
they forget.
yeah.
They forget.
A few of my flatmates had gone for shopping with me, and they asked me inside the meat section. They spent quite a lot of time in there, and they did ask me about it. So I had actually earlier told them while I was cooking food for the first time, and I just told them that I'm a vegetarian. So, but I'd forgotten that by that time. It's quite natural. So it was a bit of an awkward situation as to why I was not buying anything else other than just vegetables and fruits. Yeah.
I see. Oh yeah, I think that type of experience sometimes could be hard. How did you deal with that in high school?
It wasn't in high school. I mean, hardly ever came up. Except for in the biology class when we used to discuss nutrients, and most of my classmates were vegetarian. So the situation, like what you would feel is, people feeling awkward, vegetarian people feeling awkward in non-vegetarian settings was reversed. Non-vegetarian people feeling a bit awkward in vegetarian settings. So
I see. Oh, just okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, cool. Very nice. So what are your plans like today, tonight, or tomorrow?
I have seriously no idea. I've been procrastinating for 2-3 days now. So,
what type of work you have that you are procrastinating?
I mean,
you said summer work, right?
Yeah. We have to design a yacht now for as if we are designing for Porsche. So, but I have got literally no ideas right now as to how I should start with it. I mean, it has got everything to do, absolutely. Like the exterior, the interior.
I understand. Oh, this is not good.
And the CAD modeling as well. And upon that, the deadline is somewhere in September. It hasn't even been decided. So I'm being a bit lazy, taking my time. Hopefully I'll wake up soon, because otherwise the project is gonna be rubbish and my marks are gonna be rubbish because of that.
True. Yeah, but I think it's hard. Like creative people like him, like you need to have a normal life to continue that inspiration.
Absolutely.
Right now, when you say that, right, I completely understand what you're going through. It's just like you have something to do. You know you have something to do, but you can't do it. And you try, but you just can't. So that's the third option of thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the inertia, I would say.
What?
The inertia. I mean, if you want to move an object which is stationary, it requires a bit more effort to start. And after it starts rolling, lesser and lesser effort is required to keep it moving. Similarly, with a moving object, if you want to stop it, the initial force required will be larger. So that's just it. I just have this inertia within me which I need to overcome. Just put in a lot more effort and just think about ideas, let them come to me. I shouldn't wander for ideas. That's the important thing as well. The idea should come within me from itself.
Yeah.
If I try to force myself into thinking like that, It will never work.
Whew. Amazing. Okay, so it's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you
It's
very
about
much.
like
Same
30
here.
minutes talk on Winston's pod. And yeah, so basically I'm coming out with this new series, like a playlist
Oh yeah.
in my YouTube channel, and I just want to do it for memories. And
Yeah, I
you
can
see,
totally
one
understand.
last thing I want to share with you, right, is that I like to do vlogging, but because of the lockdown,
Yeah.
because of being isolating, there's not much point vlogging yourself, like talking to yourself. You go crazy, you talk in front of the camera.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I came out with this idea is that if it is safe, I would rather sit down and talk to someone and that be the vlog.
That's actually a good
Yeah.
idea because you get to talk with people,
And
get
then
to
you
know
feel
them.
better.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
get and then it's
Yeah.
like two birds, one stone
We are
type
we
thing.
are
Like
we're
that.
social animals anyways, so we need to interact with them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll go crazy. Of course,
Yeah.
talking just in front of a camera who might be staring at you.
True, because I'm looking at you now,
Yeah.
and then they are it's recording. So
I can
I think
understand it. I mean, it's quite haunting, according to me, looking into that cyclops of a camera.
understand. Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
crazy, but so yeah, I want to say thank you, and
you're welcome.
yeah, this will go down in my memory lane because
yeah.
YouTube is like, you know, I gather like every year, you know, things like that, and
Absolutely.
got a lot of footages. So this is my friend Adwait. Is it Adwait?
Adwait.
Adwait. Yeah, Adwait.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's from India, and nice to talk to you, and
Thank
we'll
you very
see you
much.
again in
Yep.
the future in the next episode. Bye.